no means no. And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Inside the 40 Acres. I'm Mike Murphy. I got JP. You're going to have to tell me your last name again. Urquidez.
Ooh, no, Urquidez. That was a butcher.
I'm just kidding. It's Urquidez. I knew that. It'll be a running joke. Offensive lineman for the University of Texas. Were you there 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 4 years?
4 long
Graduated, former Baylor commit. Went to, after that debacle, went down to Texas, and the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Hardge, full name, government, like his mom meant to be, your Expo legend. What else were you? Your local hero, your radio sensation on the ticket in San Antonio, 1300 The Zone.
That's right.
And host of the Hard Knocks Life podcast from K-Town. That's a very original logo you have there. We love to see it.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump right into it, guys. Let's talk about the fourth straight loss for the Texas Longhorns in the 2021 season at Iowa State. What, 30 to 7? Was it 30?
It doesn't even matter.
7. Yeah.
It was bad. It was a bad loss. We all know it. At what point this game is when I noticed that the team's given up. They've given up on pretty much every asset. You got and this isn't a bad thing, but when I saw Bijan fumble the ball like in the first series, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a long game, right? And then you saw Casey throwing the ball. Now he's got a jacked up thumb, but still, like, that was god awful. Then we put in Hudson Card. Hudson Card looked like he was a true freshman. And then nothing clicked, right? We had the lead going into halftime again, and then all of a sudden in the second half, it was just downfall. Let's start with you, Mike. Give me your reactions to the game.
It was very hard to watch. It was very hard to kind of understand. I'm not going to say quit, because as an athlete, you know that that's the worst thing that you could ever say to someone. I think the one thing that I will always try to kind of grasp is the different voices in the locker room. And what I mean by that is, and JP can speak to this as well, there's been so much turnover at the University of Texas, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whether it's an offensive, defensive coordinator, whether it's a special teams coach, whether there's a coach that has been changed at a rapid rate. I mean, it's just been
defensive coordinator, offensive line, coaches.
So much that has changed. So the messaging is different each step of the way. But as we talked about the last time we got together, a lot of this stuff you have to take ownership in as a player. And as a player, you have to look at each other and say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of every week coming out here and having the same result. I have a shirt that's made about Tom Herman when he kept saying the definition of insanity, right? The 3.8 yards a carry. I'm like, damn, man, the way my math adds up, that's a first down. You know what I'm saying? So when you say certain things and you try to put it in perspective. Now, with that game, it was a lost game from the very beginning. Sometimes you just get your butt kicked. Sometimes you just walk out there. The biggest thing that I took away from that, and you mentioned it, the 4-game losing streak, Mike, but not only is it a 4-game losing streak, it's the 4-game second half where you were winning going into halftime and you lost every one of those games. That, to me, and JP, I'll let you talk about it too, is more not necessarily the coaches. I think some of that has to do with the players, because we all know, we talk about it, we're watching it, we're looking at it. And every week we hear a different stat about this, that, or the other. I need to be on the other side of that stat to where we're winning games and stopping the bleeding and trying to take charge. If it's not working out and you're not believing in what the coaches are, as players, we need to say, all right, look, I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, we're going to make sure we cover that, and we're not going to have this happen. Or we're going to have somebody in that locker room saying, not a coach, but a player saying we need to tighten up and get this thing going. That's the most disappointing part to me, is that it's the same thing. Like people always say, rinse and repeat. That has been the biggest problem for me. The players sometimes have to hold each other accountable, and those coaches got to hold each other accountable as well.
So, JP, going to you, what happens when a younger guy, say like a Bijan, right? He's quiet, or an Xavier Worthy, for an example, top 10 receiver in the country, maybe top 5, as a true freshman. At what point, when they're like trying to step up and lead, and you got these like juniors and seniors who've already been in there and in the system, talk about what Mike was just saying of like, at what point do players like step up and be like, yo, get your stuff together?
I think that comes along with time. It's earned for sure. I remember my freshman year; that was a tough year. We went 5-7, and towards the end of the year, you definitely saw a lot of the young guys that were true freshmen contributing. I remember Malcolm Roach, really good friend of mine, plays for the Saints now. Towards the end of the year, he started getting a lot more vocal, and guys like that. Again, I think it comes with time, and I think it comes with a comfort to it as well. A lot of guys aren't born with that in them. It takes a lot to get in front of, some fifth-year seniors, sixth-year seniors, juniors, and say, pick your stuff up. It's not easy. They've been there for 6 months. They probably don't feel like it's their right to do. But I do agree. You do have to. At some point, somebody has to step up, no matter who it is. Somebody's got to be able to, become a leader in that locker room. And I think you saw that a little bit on Saturday against Iowa State, a little bit of lack of leadership. I loved what Roshan Johnson did. I think somebody hit.
He was the only one that stood up for Card, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Again, I see the people on Twitter. You want to see the linemen in there and whatnot, and I love it. Believe me, I do want to see my dog Christian out there, maybe, scruffing it up a little bit. But at the same time, they are playing. You got to play smart. You got to play with your head on your shoulders, right? Don't want to give up a personal foul at 15 yards. You got to think about that as well. But at the same time, you look at the score. Maybe you're like, all right, man, it might be worth it right here. But going back to the original question with the leadership, it comes with time. It comes with comfort. And a lot of guys don't have that in them. Mike, as you know, probably growing up and being in the locker room, some guys just aren't vocal leaders. They won't say a word. Devin Duvernay is my best example. Probably the best player on the field in certain games, a lot of the games when he was there, but wouldn't say a word. I mean, that dude was silent Monday through Friday and Saturday as well. He'd go for 200 plus, 2 touchdowns, and wouldn't say anything. But he led by example. So I think, there's 2 types of guys. There's the loud, the hoorah guys, and then there's guys who lead by example. I'm sure I'm not in the locker room. Wish I was, believe me. I miss it. But I'm sure Bijan is a leader in there for sure. I believe guys look up to him. Worthy, I don't really know him personally. I've met Bijan multiple times, but I haven't met Worthy.
So let me stop you there. So at what point is it that do these guys like just say, screw it, I'm going to step up and take the leadership? As a freshman, like, are they going to get rejected if they do that? Or is it going to be like you said, right? You were like, well, it's earned, right? That's like the cliche, right? Well, you got to earn
Sure.
it. You got to learn from the elder people. But at what point are you like, we've lost 4 games in a row. I'm one of the better players. I'm a younger one. Is it right now? Is it like?
It's now. It's honestly, it's not even now. It's probably 3 games ago, to be honest with you. And I don't know if it happened or if it did happen, because for all we know, it could happen. It could be happening right now where that team's getting led by freshmen. And we don't know. And at the same time, we don't know how people have responded to that as well. I've got friends in the locker room. I've got a lot of guys in the locker room saying it's tough. It's tough in there right now. Not the best vibes and whatnot, obviously, as you would imagine. Lost 4 games straight probably isn't the best feeling. As far as leaders go, I'm not sure. They don't really. They know that I've been on the podcast a little bit, so they've been a little bit shorter with me. But as far as that goes, we don't know. But going back to the question, it is now. If anything, it was a few weeks ago when that type of leadership is needed. But right now, for sure, I think you're going into these last 3 games. You're trying to set the tone here. It's never too late. So hopefully, right now, there's some guys speaking up and say what needs to be said.
So. A lot of people on Twitter and social media have already heard. Mike, you and I had chatted about rumors of something that had happened the night before this broke. So hopefully, we can plug this in. Aaron, go ahead and play that. And 3, 2, 1. So let's talk about it, man. Mike, you're a player. You're on the bus. You're joking around. You're laughing. Your coach comes, and for those that don't know, Bo Davis came on the bus, pissed off, felt that he's like, I got my A kicked, and I got this, I got that, blah blah blah. One of the players recorded it and then posted it, and then it broke. The next day, I remember texting Mike, and you were like, "No way!" Like, yeah, man, like that's crazy because we had been talking of rumors we had heard. So, Mike, give me your your take on that.
I think it was Bush League by the player, number one. First off, how in your mind is that the first thing that you go to is to record a coach that is obviously hot right now? We saw this with Antonio Brown when Mike Tomlin was doing his speech in the locker room, and you were doing it for Facebook Live. But this is something a little bit different. That was a celebratory conversation when they won the game, Pittsburgh, that is. And here's a situation where the first thing, you lost 4 straight games, blown leads, and your first thought is, number one, I need to record this coach going crazy on here, number one. Number two, you share it outside of the family. And then you think that it's going to get coach in trouble. Now all it did was endure him to every Longhorn fan because it felt like it needed to be said. The biggest thing that I took away from that, honestly, is number one, snitches get stitches. And number two, the biggest thing was I wish that it would have been a player that was having that conversation, that was on that bus, that actually gave a damn about this university and what it stood for. There's a sign in the locker room, and JP, you know this, the University of Texas is not entrusted to the weak, period.
Week.
And you are sitting there trying to embarrass the university, not only by your play, but then trying to get a viral video out that's going to, quote unquote, make this coach out to be a bad guy, when all it did was expose yourself as being the weak link on the team. You might be the problem. You might be, quote unquote, and I hate using this word, the C word, cancer, but you may be that cell of a person that is trying to tear down the fabric of the
sleeper cell. You might be a sleeper cell.
Yeah, sleeper cell. There you go. I like that. I like that.
Better than the C word. We don't knock on wood. We don't even
like that C word.
So my thought was when I heard it, I immediately thought, well, man, I wonder if it's someone that is trying to bring down the team that's they're already on their way out. Their way out. They know they're leaving.
Right.
They know, like, I'm done. Like, so F it. I'm gonna post this, and then I'll enter the transfer portal in a week or two. Blah blah blah. One, I heard they had assigned seats, which is weird because they're going to be able to be like, well, if you can see him here, and then I can see how many seats on the right side, even though it's dark. JP, what, as a player, man, like when that comes out, what's your first take me through the steps of a younger dude to when you're a senior or junior, and just an overall player of what in the just happened, right? Like what? Like take me through your steps as a player when that stuff happens.
Are you talking about when it's released or when the coach?
No, well, I mean, like, listen,
like
we've all had our asses.
Just in general?
We've all had our asses chewed by a coach. I was a soccer guy and a football guy. Mike was baseball and football. Listen, we've all got it where we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and then we were kind of joking around about it, and they're pissed off because they want us to know the situation. What I want to know more of is, as a player, when that's released, right? Because clearly you probably already knew someone recorded it like before it went out, right?
Yeah. No, I knew about it. I heard about the coach reaction for sure. That spreads like wildfire because, again, guys don't think that's right, or they don't agree that's the way you should be coaching. But I think it, like Mike said, it's embarrassing for sure that got out. And one, I don't really know why that's your first reaction when that happens. One, to be laughing on the bus after losing. Two, to record a coach after something like that happens. I'm not entirely sure what that's about. I doubt it's a starter. I'd put money that it's not a starter. It's probably a guy who hasn't contributed much this year. I don't know. Who knows? It could be the best player on the team. We don't even know.
What'd you say?
But I don't think it's a guy that's playing for sure. I don't think it's a guy that's playing. I think it's a guy who, like you said, he's done. Maybe it's his last year. Maybe he is planning on hitting the portal after the season. If he is, good luck wherever you go.
Maybe he's been a portal person before.
Or maybe he's been a portal person before. Maybe he's been a portal hopper. He's been in, he's been out. He doesn't know where he wants to go. Whatever the case may be, it's not a good look. Posting it for social media, I don't get what the point of that was. If you want to go viral for anything, I think that's probably the last thing that you want on your name, especially trying to go to another program. I can assure you, any other Power 5 program that's ranked top 25 is probably not going to take you, knowing that you did that to your university. It's tough. It was tough to see, though. It was tough to see. Love the message.
So if you were in that locker room and you're a player and that comes out and it's not you, are you pissed? Are you like, what? Are you trying to find out who it was? Or are you more of like, it is what it is?
You're pissed. You're real mad. The problem is everybody wants to be liked nowadays, right? Nobody wants to be the guy in the locker room that's, the a-hole.
Problem number one right there.
That's it right there. 100%. I saw it all 4 years. People want to be liked. Captains want to be liked. And that's not just a Texas thing. That's just our generation, my generation, right? That's just who we are, unfortunately. And it's not an excuse, but that's what it is. People want to be liked. Nobody wants to be the guy that says, hey man, that was the wrong thing to do. Right. So I think in the locker room, there probably was people pissed off. I'm sure there was people in the corners talking, mess about the guy. And then when people got home, they're screaming and yelling, why did he do that? But nobody's going to actually confront him about it. It doesn't sound like that's happened from the people I've talked to. So again, there probably wasn't much accountability for it, and whoever did it isn't going to speak out for sure. If they had the audacity to record it, I highly doubt they have the insides to say it was them. So who it is was probably a mystery.
I bet they're trying to hunt it down. I would, you've already, so this happens, right? Bo Davis comes in, cusses everybody out, says, get in the portal if you don't want to be here. We don't want it, yada, yada, yada.
Wait. Let me ask you this, Mike. What is your reaction to that? You asked us ours. I want to know what yours is. I mean, I have an idea. I've been around you quite a few times. But in the reality of it all, what was your first reaction?
If I had found if I had someone do that during let's just say on one of my teams for soccer, right? I was a pretty good soccer player. If someone had gone and taken a video and then posted, the first thing I would have done is call a player meeting, right? Players only meeting, which I haven't heard that has happened yet. No one said like, oh, there's been a players only meeting. I would have been livid with my fellow teammates, and I'd been like, what happens in this house needs to stay in this house. We've got all these outside sources and this and that and the whole 9 yards. Needs to stay in the family, right? And within our combines. I think it was, and my reactions need to be more mature, but the kinder words were, I think it was very immature. I think that this person was probably trying to bring down the university a little bit. Maybe trying to get their coach in trouble. I don't know if they felt like they were being talked to, like specifically. And then they thought, well, F you, you're going to try and talk to me like that? Like, I'm going to talk to you like let me show you. I don't think it was a good look. I really don't. And, I've got a lot of respect for some guys on that team. Josh Thompson is, like family to us. Same with BJ and Marvion and some other guys. I feel for them, right? Because and I'm hoping like, that they can get through this and go for it. I remember, texting one of them just being like, look, dude, like stay away from not knowing that this was going to happen the night of the game. Right after the game, I was like, stay away from don't worry about the noise, man. Just worry about your controllables, your team, your family, you. And then this shit fire happened, and God almighty, right? I think it was pretty low. I wouldn't have done it. Would you guys have done that? I mean, Mike Hardge would have. I mean, he's just trying to get to the league, but JP.
No, I mean, real talk, somebody would have got some hands put on them, just to be honest with you, because We try to police our own locker room as family, and sometimes brothers fight, right? But we also got to, like my boy Sean Adams used to always say, sometimes you got to let your boys know that their slip is showing when they're out of line. And being out of line is something that's going to cost our team, our future, and the trust and respect of the locker room is sacred as anything. And when you can't be trusted by your teammates, it's almost, to me, and this is going to sound crazy, it's almost like stealing, right? We walk into the locker rooms, we can go in there and just have whatever we want. We leave it in there. You know why? Because that's my family. I shouldn't have to worry about my family taking anything that's mine. If you need something, I'll give it to you, but don't take it from me. That's what was just taken. The sanctity of that locker room was just taken from the team. And now everybody knows Bo Davis ain't to be played with. Number one, he's about that life. But so is every other coach on there. And that's how you get coached up. And if you can't handle constructive criticism or hard coaching, this is not for you. This is not the way that you should react to a coach coming on the bus and the first thing you do is videotape them, period.
So this is how I view trust, right? And this is the best analogy or best example I can always give. When you're in a relationship, whoever you're dating, and you're together, there's 100% trust there. Why? Because there's no reason not to be trusted. Then, if you get caught cheating, you cheat or the person you're with cheats, or they're talking to someone else or whatever, all of a sudden that trust is gone. And it's really hard to get back to 100% trust, right? It's really hard. You can be like, oh no, we went to counseling, we talked about it, we figured it out, it's all great. But at the end of the day, there's always that back of your mind. Now those guys there, right, that even the young guns now are going to be like, man, I wonder if someone else is going to do that. Or I wonder if that's going to happen. Until this is like gone, right? You can't just like under the rug this type of stuff, right? It's always going to be in the back of the mind. Yeah, and I think what you said, man, like Bo Davis is endeared. That dude will be he'll be a legend. That guy, I've had so many tweets and messages of, can we get Bo Nose hats? Can we get Bo Nose shirts? And I'm like, first of all, do you think the university is going to approve that? Absolutely not. Like, what are you guys thinking? What are you thinking? But like, I could probably make a shirt that says Bo Nose in white and gray, but I can't do it in burnt orange. Get out of here, guy. So yeah,
the best one that I've seen thus far is two of them. Number one, you know that Bo Davis does kind of look like Suge Knight, right? He does kind of. Yeah, and then the other one is the LHN commercials where they always talk about he's a Longhorn.
He's a Longhorn legend. Yeah, that was great. I saw that one.
Those are my two favorite ones thus far.
Yeah,
but yeah, I get it. I get it, man. I get it.
So from that, you've got Josh Moore, who the week before, or that during that week, blew up on a coach. Anwar released it. God, Anwar, do better, man. And then
no lies told, though.
Yeah, but the thing too is that Sark was like, but the thing is like Moore's been up and down anyway, right? JP and I were texting about it, and it was like, here's the deal. Moore had his problems, got suspended for an entire year, came back, played great. Did what? And then this year it hasn't really been the focal point like he was. He kind of fell off a little bit, right? Now, I don't know if that mentally has been messing with him, but, you got this
also
and that.
A different quarterback in a different system, too. So there's a lot.
Still had Casey Thompson last year throwing the ball in practice.
There's a lot.
Still had Casey Thompson throwing the ball in practice last year. I don't believe that. And Hudson Card. My point is that I think that, one, I do like to see Sark. I like Sark pushing back to reporters who are going to do some bunk-ass reporting. Secondly, you're right, no lies told, but it could be done better. JP, Josh Moore is now transferred. how many more, if you were in that locker room, how many more transfers do you think we're going to see? Do you think we see a rush now, or do you think it's all going to happen at the end of the season?
I think if it happens, it'll be at the end of the season. I think everybody here right now I think a lot of guys right now see an opportunity to put good film on it if they do want to transfer. And they see 3 games right here to go out there and put on 3 great games of film. And that's what their families are telling them. All these guys got families and parents who want to know, who think what's best for them. So no, I don't think it's going to be a rush right now. If it happens, I don't want it to happen. Love to see the talent stay on the team, but if it does, it'll be at the end of the year. They got 3 games to go out there and put on some good tape.
Mike, you made a face like, what talent? I noticed that.
Who, me?
There's some talent.
No. Well, my biggest thing is I don't understand where you're going to go right now as a transfer, right? Like, go to practice, go get work, stay in shape, get your thing done. And if you want to JP's point, if you want to leave, then leave at the end of the year. It's not going to do you any good, because one of the things that I want to continue to make sure people understand, just because you go to the portal doesn't mean you're going to land somewhere. There's too many people that get lost in that portal. And I had Chris Hummer on my radio show the other day, and he said that you do realize that 500 less kids signed out of high school, got Division I scholarships out of 500. Now mix in everybody that's trying to go to all these different schools to try to be that one piece that school needs. And what they're doing is technically taking you from one school and putting you on another team. And if you're not that frontline 5-star player that actually has some film, you're not going to be able to make an impact anyway. So people need to be very careful on this transfer portal. Yes, it's good for you to be a free agent, but not all free agents sign that big contract that they keep looking for or get that playing time that they think they're going to get somewhere, going to another D1 school.
100%.
So does this affect recruiting for the better or for the worse?
I mean,
or is it what it is?
I think at this stage, honestly, Mike and JP, I think it is what it is right now. I truly do, because it's kill or be killed, right? I mean, you got to go get what you think you're going to get. But just because you get to go to another school does not make you that starter. Think about all the players that have come to the University of Texas via the transfer portal. Think of all the people that left the University of Texas to get into the transfer portal. How many are really standing out? I can think of one right now, and that's Marquez Bimage. Bimage is killing it at Cal right now. But other than that, I look across the landscape and see what kids go where. There's not a lot of them really stepping up and stepping out. Cam Rising, yeah, he got the starting job. But Jaquindon Jackson's not playing, same position. And then you look at Keontae Ingram's doing well in LA for USC, but there's not a lot of guys that are really jumping off the page that you're saying, man, I wish he would have stayed here, or we could have got them, whichever.
Brew McCoy.
Absolutely.
Where's he at? I still ain't seen him play.
What's happened to him? Yeah, I know he went back to USC.
He was at USC,
He's
and then he got
there.
suspended.
Yeah.
He got like sick, and then he got suspended or something else. And then you had who's that other receiver that left UT and went to USC? Little white kid.
Malcolm Epps is there, and so is Jake Smith.
Malcolm Epps,
Jake Smith. That's who it was. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what, man. In this system, I really do wish Jake Smith would have stayed. Yep.
That one hurt.
Say what? That one did hurt. The other thing too, you start to notice, man. Maybe Jordan Whittington is really valuable in this system, right? He's been hurt the last 3-4 games, man. Yeah. Like he hasn't played.
He's extremely valuable.
So maybe he's that glue that's like helping this team. I don't know, but all in all, it's not bad. All right, so you got Kansas coming up this weekend. First 6:30 game in a year. It seems like the University of Texas. The line is 30 and
ESPNU.
The what?
I said ESPNU. I was pretty shocked when I saw that one. The channel we got.
Is it on ESPNU?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I promise.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I thought it was on Fox.
No, we're not even on Fox, bro. We're not even on
You get ESPNU? That's fantastic. Is Cotton going to call it? That's a old one, Cotton. So the line's 30.5. Does UT cover 30.5?
The fact that we're even having this conversation, it makes you really, really stress out. Like, why am I even having this 30.5 point conversation? Oh my God, no. And the only reason why I say that is because of everything that we've been talking about. There's been so much turmoil at the 40 acres, starting from Halloween all the way up until now. We are on the struggle bus, as they like to say. We are definitely on the struggle bus. And is it highly possible that we get to 30.5? Absolutely. If you look at Kansas's team, they're not very good. But at this particular moment, I'm not surprised by anything anymore. So I'm gonna say no.
JP, were you on that team that lost to Kansas?
I was, yes. Luckily, I was not. That was my freshman year. I did not travel to that game, but I do remember that one.
Damn it.
That was a good one. I was watching at a baseball player's house. I think it was Zach Zubia, the Zoob.
Zoob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that one was tough.
I think I was on a date with my wife. It was one of our first dates.
Oh,
how cute! Yeah, no, Shane Bouchel, man.
How
Shane
cute.
Bouchel. Charles Aminahue slamming his helmet.
My God, I knew you were going there.
Yeah, like, come on, Charles, come on, guy. All right, so that Kansas team wasn't very good either. And then I remember getting married and checking the score, and UT had to kick a field goal to win in 2019, 41-38 or some shit like that. So, JP, you've been there. Do they cover 30.5, or who's starting at quarterback?
That I haven't decided yet. For last I checked the old Twitter, it is undecided.
Well, they sent out the two deep, and Casey Thompson was still listed as a starter. We do have, since we are recording this, and we will know something on Thursday. Coach Sark meets with the media on Thursday, and so we will have an answer more than likely Thursday afternoon at about 11:15.
Okay, well, then there you go. So we don't know who the starter is going to be. I'm going to say that we do not cover 30.5. I think they win. I think they win by 2 touchdowns, but I don't know if we win by 4 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns is what that is. That's 5.
That's a lot.
5 touchdowns.
That's a lot.
I got you.
They will win by.
I got you.
So we'll see. We'll be back next week to recap the Kansas game, see where the state of the University of Texas football team is at.
2 wins for a bowl, baby.
I was about to say the same thing. They need 2 dubs. 2 dubs out of
Which bowl are we fighting for right now? Texas Bowl at NRG? Is that what we're looking at right now?
It would be that or the Alamo Bowl. Alamo Bowl goes to 3rd place, doesn't it?
Well, at one point, I saw us going to Memphis in the Liberty Bowl.
I would love to go to Memphis in the Liberty Bowl. That
was 2 losses ago, so we gotta wait and see.
Now the Texas Bowl would be in GR, isn't it? That was your year, right? 5-7 when you guys lost to Arkansas. Was that your year?
No, that was we went to the Texas Bowl my sophomore year.
Sophomore year.
We didn't go to a bowl game at 5-7. It was the year after that. We were 7-5, and that's when we played.
No, Sark's. Were you there? Strong's first year or second year?
No, his last year, 2016.
The Kansas loss, 5-7.
Yeah, the Kansas loss, the 5-7 year.
In comes the Tom Herman era, and
it was a good time.
Can't wait to talk about more about that.
That was when he was trying to get his bag. Tom Herman was doing his bag dance.
No, he was doing the Superman because Drew Lock was doing it. And then, man, what happened to Texas? Let me ask you before I leave, guys. Before we all leave, will Texas ever be as good as they were in the late 90s and all of the early 2000s?
Mike, we say that every year. We ask that question every year, and we're going on 12 years straight of trying to figure out what that elusive trophy looks like. You know, it's like being a Dallas Cowboy fan. You keep thinking. You show up every year. You're screaming. You coming early.
You know what you're going to get with the Cowboys. It's Jerry Jones. You don't know what you're going to get with UT every year. You think every year is the year. Oh, it's new guys coming in. Oh, it's this and that.
And how do you end up? You end up looking like blaming it on Jerry Jones for the Texas Longhorns.
Well, think about it. JP got recruited, and I'm sure when he came, he's like, I'm going to be the one that turns Texas around, right? I mean, that's just it is.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. So does Texas get back to winning? I mean, Mac Brown was fired for winning 9 games a year.
Yeah, that was unreal. That was silly on our part. I think so. I definitely think it happens. I think it happens sooner rather than later. I'll go ahead and go on the record and say I do think Sark is the guy. Unpopular opinion.
No. I agree. I do think
this pod right here is all on the same page. I think.
Yeah, we're all team
okay.
Sark here.
As long as we're all, I know. All the Monday morning quarterbacks are against the old Sark, but I think he is the guy. I think he can for sure get it done, and I think it'll be soon. We'll see what happens. We've seen we see the one guy that he's got on the field that he recruited going to be a freshman All-American. I fully believe in his ability to recruit. We'll see what happens. I think it happens, but we'll see. Just like you said, Cowboys curse as well. So.
And that has been our time inside the 40 acres for my guy Mike Hardge. Tell them where they can see you. Tell them where they can hear you.
AM 1300 The Zone and Ticket 760 Monday through Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. Me, Calvin Casey, Jonas Clark, and my man Sam Freese behind the glass.
JP, give them your handles.
Instagram, JP Urquidez, and then Twitter is JP_OT 2016. Need to change that. I am no longer a recruit. We are past the
you might want to
underscore.
Why don't you spell your last name, Brett? Why don't you make it? Why don't we just be like JP?
JP, you went Urquidez.
Why don't you spell that? So they can understand where to find you. So they're not spelling like taquito.
Yeah, no, there's no T's. URQUI. D is in dog, E is in echo, Z as in zebra. Follow your boy.
Fantastic. You can find me at Last Stand Hats just across all socials. It's pretty easy. We keep it the same. We're here for the people. Got our new Texas versus all y'all hat today. The little the 3-layer patch. Fantastic. Great for any holiday gift. Holiday season's coming around, people. Be kind. Be generous. You see Mike Hardge, give him a hug. He's a hugger. We'll talk to y'all soon.
1